Hello, Taurus rising. This is your new moon and Capricorn forecast for December 23rd through about June 6th, which is the next lunation. So this is the new moon, which happens exactly December 23rd, and it's going to be in your area of truth, belief, worldview, and travel. And so philosophy is very important to your success. Ninth house is also higher education. It is exploration. It is the house of the guru, if you will. And so that is how your success is measured from a deeply philosophical perspective. Maybe you like to travel. Maybe it's something where you have to travel for your job. Either way, that is what seed you're planting is. What is success to me? Now, Jupiter is in Aries. Aries is your 12th house of spirituality. It's very abstract. And that is where there's a lot of action. It may not feel like a lot of action in the 12th house. This is one of the rising signs where Jupiter kind of doesn't seem to be as active because the 12th house is a hidden house. It's very internal. It's very spiritual. The 12th house rules retreat, reflection, dreams, spirituality, and intuition, and sometimes disillusionment, sometimes lack of clarity with the 12th house. And so this area really is pushing for spiritual alignment, I think, is the highest vibe way to look at it. And maybe some retreat and reflection. So the idea I get here is that, you know, the success that you have in your life or want in your life is directly in tension with the time you need to yourself and the time you need to spiritually reflect and go inward. And these two things are having to figure out how to work it out, actually. Maybe success to you might mean something more spiritual and philosophical than other people, especially during these times. So the other thing we could look at is that Mars retrograde rules Jupiter in Aries right now. And Jupiter in Aries is trying to force action. That is really the nature of Aries. So that's why Mars, which is the planet that rules action and desire, which is Aries, is in Gemini, and it's significant. This is your second house of assets, values, money, comfort. So you're doing some research in this area, and maybe it is, I need more money in my life. I need more stability, or how can I get more money, but also have more time? That's really, it's financial, yet there is something spiritual happening at the same time. And these two things are actually very well connected. So your spiritual reflection and retreat with Jupiter and Aries is somehow in synergy with Mars retrograde in your second house of finances. So the research project that you're doing there is going to help you feel like you are more spiritually aligned, more in your truth, more in your retreat if you need to be. And then also Saturn is in Aquarius in your 10th house of career. So there is some sense that you do have big goals for the future, but they're still kind of incubating for a minute. And I think that's okay. And it's, can I let that incubate while I go inward and spiritually reflect on my values, on my truth, on my belief? And then Mercury goes retrograde December 29th in your 9th house. So by the way, if you have travel planned, I don't sell this to every rising sign, but it's in your 9th house of travel. So it's something for you to kind of keep an eye on December 29th when Mercury turns retrograde with Venus in your 9th house. And that is kind of a re-evaluation, especially since it stations retrograde with Venus, about your worldview, about your beliefs, about your life direction. And then January. I kept saying June earlier. It's January 6th is the full moon in Cancer. And I think there may be a sort of decision that you come to by that point. If you are looking to make a decision, it's either that or you learn something new, or you open your mind and you decide, okay, I need to allow myself some room to change my worldview, to change my belief. You are going through a bit of a spiritual metamorphosis. So I think that this is maybe less material for you than other people. Not that it won't be things in reality that show you that this is what's going on, but this is very spiritual. It's very abstract. It's very mind philosophy based for you. And then to a certain extent, your money and your career are coming under this review. How do I do things differently? So you're going back to the drawing board based on some spiritual notions, some abstract notion, philosophical notion about what is success, what do I actually need in my life, what are my true desires for myself spiritually, and that will obviously come have money be a part of the equation. It always is, and career. So if you decide it's time, it's joy that I want out of my life, that's what success is. I may take a different job that pays me less, but it gives me more freedom, more time to reflect in my life. That is just an example. It's not going to happen that way for every Taurus rising, but it's an example of the way this could work for you. And let's just not forget the travel implications of this, and also higher education. So if you're in school, this could have something to do with your education as well, and maybe reevaluating strategy there. All right, I'll see you for the full moon in Cancer, which will be in your third house of decision making and local community and thoughts and communication. It's a very brainy full moon for you, but also emotional. So that's coming up. I'll be back before January 6th to talk to you about that. And I will see you then. See you later, Taurus rising.